interviewing Ann Moore. Ann, where are you from?
I'm from Kenai, Alaska.
What is the population?
It's about 7,000.
So, what is the climate like?
Well, like in the summer, it can be anywhere to like as warm as like 75 to like a low temperature of like 50. So anywhere in there. And then in the winter, it can get to as cold as like 25 below to like 40 degrees.
Explain like what the daylight hours are in the winter and the summer.
Well, for in the winter, it gets very dark, to where maybe the only light hours would be at like 2 p.m. and like 3 p.m. and then it would be dark again until the next day at like 2 p.m. And then for the summer, like it's light 24/7, basically not. And then the only dark time would be maybe like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So it kind of switches.
So in the winter when you go to school, is it like dark?
Yes.
So what are some attractions in Alaska?
Well, for like tourists, there's like a lot of people come to Alaska to go fishing, for the hunting, things like that. The main fishing would be like king salmon fishing on the Kenai River, fishing for halibut, like in the ocean. And for hunting, there's lots of different huntings like bear, moose, lots of different kinds of birds. Yeah.
What do you do for fun?
For fun, like we do a lot of snowboarding, which is interesting. In Alaska, there's only one mountain to snowboard on in the whole state, and then there's a lot of like snow machining.
Can you explain what snow machining is?
Snow machining is snowmobile.
Are there races or?
I think there are some races, but I think most of us just do it for fun.
Okay.
Like, just go out and snow machine. And then there's like fishing. We do like a lot of fishing, and hunting. Those are two bigger things.
Cool. What are like the popular sports in Alaska?
Well, it's a lot like the rest of the United States: soccer, basketball, volleyball. There's actually a lot of hockey in Alaska, which makes sense. Yeah, those main sports.
Are there any like special foods in Alaska,
well,
or where you're from?
Yeah, a lot of people, they eat moose and bear. Those are mainly more like on the natives. Like most of the natives will eat that, but like my family personally doesn't eat that. I don't know of a lot of people who eat that.
Do you guys eat like a lot of fish?
Yeah, lots of fish like salmon, halibut, crab. Lots of king crab.
Explain the clothing in Alaska, like certain norms.
Most people wear sweatpants like all the time in the winter because it's cold, and that's like the warmest. Coats, sweatshirts. I mean, surprisingly, there's a lot of people who will just go outside in like shorts and a t-shirt because I guess they're just used to it. But yeah, and a lot of people just wear pajamas.
Just go around wearing pajamas. That's cool. What are some like the major disasters or dangers in Alaska, like natural?
Well, one of the main ones is like bears. There's a lot of bear attacks. Like just people like walking around and they get mauled by a bear, which is actually sadly quite common.
Do people usually die from it, or?
Yeah, most of the time.
So sad.
And then like obviously extreme cold. There's a lot of like if you're like trapped, it can get to like -40 in some places depending on where you are in the state. And then there's like earthquakes. Actually, they are quite common, like large-scale earthquakes. Blizzards. There's some blizzards.
So Ann, what are some stereotypical questions people will ask you about Alaska?
Actually, surprisingly, a very common question that I get asked is if I was born in an igloo, which I was not. I was born in a hospital. And also, like, I've never seen a polar bear, which is what a lot of people ask. And then when I think about like the cold, people ask if it's like there's always snow, and there's not always snow. Like there's some warm. It can get up to like 70 degrees.
Yeah. That's funny.
And then also people ask me if I've ever met Sarah Palin. I haven't. She actually lives in Juneau, which is actually like connected to Seattle, like the way that Alaska is shaped. Yeah.
Oh,
or not
so
Seattle,
cool.
Washington.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far away is it from you?
It's far. It's by plane it's about 3.5 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's far. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for answering all our questions about Alaska. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you, man. Hello, this is Vince. Where are you from, Vince?
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
What is the population?
Around 1 million.
What is the climate like in the summer and the winter?
Very seasonal, but just like in Ohio.
So, can it get like really, really hot?
Yep, it can get really hot. You get the extremes of every type of weather. Really hot, really cold, really rainy, you experience it all.
So what are some of like the attractions in Baltimore?
You have the Inner Harbor, you have Merriweather Post Pavilion, concert venue, you have Pier 6 Pavilion, another concert venue. You have the waterfront, which is in the Inner Harbor. You have the Maryland Science Museum. Yeah, that's what it's called. I forgot the name of it specifically, but that's Science Museum.
So Vince, what do you do for fun?
I play baseball. I play flag football, backyard football, basketball, guitar, video games, skateboarding. A big mix of things. Frisbee. Oh, that's a big one. Frisbee's a big thing on the East Coast.
Oh, okay. And then what are some like other popular sports? What are some other popular sports?
Lacrosse is a big sport in Baltimore. Actually, the two teams in the national title this year were Loyola versus Maryland. So Loyola is in the city of Baltimore, and Maryland is the state college. So
that's funny.
It's a huge lacrosse sport. Yeah.
And then, what are some like special foods that you guys eat?
Seafood, crab cakes, crab. Mainly, it's crabs.
Okay.
Special food.
And what's like the clothing like in Baltimore?
I mean, you kind of experience it all. Like, there's no set. I mean, you see a lot of lacrosse players wear their pennies and their shorts, or you have a lot of people it's very like a hip area, so a lot of people like wear modern clothing, I guess, and a lot of nice shoes. I mean, it is a pretty decently rich area. There are parts of it that are pretty rich.
Okay. And then what are some of the major dangers in Baltimore?
Murder, and it's the #1 city, for AIDS.
Okay, and then what are some of the natural disasters that you guys face?
Hurricanes, and like the earthquake last year, that was
Okay.
So nothing serious. Go.
So what would you say are some special things about Baltimore?
People do notice that Baltimoreans have a bit of an accent. Particular words like water, we say water, like it sounds like wood, and then put it together, wooder instead of water. It's kind of like a mini southern accent. It's not like noticeable, but people can notice that you're from a certain area.
Hun.
Cool.
Hun.
Huh?
Hun.
Hun?
You know, like hun. Horn.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What?
Alright, well, I don't really feel like including that.
Okay. Thank you so much
You are welcome.
talking to us.